very significantly is that from the beginning until now, it's been very difficult to get tested. So to this day, I have not actually been tested for coronavirus. I've been tested for everything else that could cause my symptoms, and those things have been ruled out.
Now, some people will say, well, Brother Jabari, how do you know?
The stories that is not being reported.
You got the conspiracy theorists that's out there. Now, how do you know that you had the coronavirus?
That's a fair assessment, but I want us to understand several things. I think of myself as a logical person. I try to, because, and I was saying this earlier, during the time that I was a young person and had ideas and was already really focused on people of African descent and all those things, I had some of the best historians and scholars in our community hone my intellect, so that even if I said something that might have been correct, or at least sounded correct, they would demand to understand my thinking around something. So they would say, make the case. And if you couldn't make the case, even if it sounded good, even if it might have been true, that wasn't enough. And so I think of myself as a logical person. During the time that I was really sick, I attempted to contact the state of New York and the city of New York to get scheduled for testing. And they took my name at least 4 or 5 times. And to this day, almost 2 to 3 weeks later, I have never been called back. You should know that one of the things that I do is I work with a number of unions around New York City. So I work with people in around DC 37, which is the Public Service Union, very large union, very diverse union, a lot of Black and Latino people. Those people, many of them are in EMS and hospital workers and the police and all of those folks that, and the MTA, the people that keep the city running. So with my contacts there, many of them were even trying to get me tested. I also work with 1199, which is the healthcare workers union. Those folks were trying to get me tested. So what happened during that time? It became very clear that the best way for me to get a test for the coronavirus, for the novel coronavirus, for COVID-19, would be for me to go to the emergency room and tell them that I needed to be admitted. Even today, one of the only ways that you can get a coronavirus test is either to be very wealthy and have lots of connections, or to actually require admission to the hospital.
And see, people were just telling me to go in. I said, it's not that easy. You can't just go in there.
Because even when you go to the hospital, because trust me, I know hospital administrators. I teach at a medical school. Some of the folks that run hospitals are also parts of DC 37. They would say to me sometimes, well, brother, that the testing is so lacking that what they're going to do is they're going to look at all your symptoms and they're going to say, go home because your symptoms are considered mild. Now, let me say something else. Let me continue on that and then get back to that train of thought. So what did I do? I decided that I would try to go to my healthcare provider and also to urgent care. So the thing that was interesting to me is that I went to City MD, which is very, very popular in New York City right now. It's urgent care. And they actually gave me a test that to me seemed very close to the way that the coronavirus test is described. Guess what they gave me, Sonetta?
What?
They gave me a test for the flu. Why did they give me a test for the flu? Because my symptoms could also have been caused by a really bad flu. And so what we did is we ruled out the flu. They could tell me you do not have the flu. And with your symptoms, high fever, chills, difficulty breathing, a nagging cough, let's be really real, some diarrhea, extreme listlessness. With all of your symptoms, either you have a bad flu or you have the novel coronavirus. So we ruled out the flu. And so they said to me, what you need to do is that and I see Patriot Guana says, he has no proof he has a coronavirus, he is only guessing. Sometimes people need to come in and listen.
Right.
Because I'm telling you that I'm not guessing. I'm telling you that I am not guessing. I'm telling you that I was tested. There were 2 things that could have caused my symptoms. And I was tested for the other thing and it was ruled out. So the doctor said, because you are in this situation, you need to go home and sequester yourself. By the way, someone else is saying, this is the reason why I thought we need to speak, Sonetta. COVID is the flu. COVID-19 is not the flu.
Damn.
It is not influenza. COVID-19 is caused by a different organism. One of the reasons why I felt, even though I am still sick, that we needed to talk, Sonetta, is that all of the things that people have been saying that are wrong are deadly. There are people that I know in the last 7 days that I have been more alert. I will tell you, at least I know at least 20 people who have died. 10 of those 20 people I know pretty well. Dead. Do you understand what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It is incumbent upon us to try our best to give the proper information.
Now, let me ask you a question,
Wait,
brother.
let me finish on that.
Go ahead.
Because if you think that one thing is causing something and it is not, and that thing that actually you are contracting is deadly, what is happening is either irresponsible or out of ignorance. And so it is really important for us to get this serious, to get it right. And Sonetta, I also feel strongly that there are a lot of people right now, some people who I consider allies or friends, who are saying things that are completely and entirely irresponsible. At a time when, literally in New York City, we're talking about nearly over 4,000 people who are dead. At a time when people are dying, it is critically important for us to get it right. We should not say what we think unless you can prove that you have a logical rationale for your argument. We should not say that we have hidden secret documents from people who are insiders and then never produce them. And then if we produce something, it's something publicly available. That is isfet, the absence of ma'at. If you are doing that, you may be leading to people dying. This is serious. And I am mustering all of the air that I can in my compromised lungs to say that if you are doing that, you must stop. We are talking about Black people in body bags. That's what we're talking about. So if you have not done the research, if you have not done the study, if you have not read the scholarly documents, if you have not at least even read a newspaper and you have an opinion, stop. Your opinion must be based on something. An opinion is not just what I think because I have a brain and I think. An opinion must be earned by thought and by rationed analysis. If you are some people think you're talking to Sonetta. They say he's talking to Sonetta. Now, I want to be very clear that you know that I don't have to say this to you, Sonetta, but maybe I need to say this to people that would like to cause conflict.
Go ahead, brother.
Sonetta is my brother. He has been my brother for a long. He was my brother before I was on his platform. This is not about Sonetta. This is about people who absolutely need to do more work before they talk to people. Sonetta is a person that provides a platform to many people. And I hope, and I know, because I know Sonetta personally, that he really hopes that people are able to begin to make a rational, intelligent analysis of the people that he's speaking to. Sometimes you see Sonetta, he's interviewing someone and he stops and he's like, wait a minute, that don't make no sense. And Sonetta don't like to do it. I don't even like when he does it when I'm talking to them. I'm like, no, let me do that, Sonetta. But Sonetta provides a platform. I want to be really clear that many of the people I think I talk to, some of those people I'm going to say again, I consider allies, I consider friends, I consider colleagues. They are saying things that are irresponsible. And if you just use a little bit of logic, what they are saying falls apart so horribly that they ought not be speaking. That's what I'm talking about. And I'm hot about this because people I know are dead. And there are many more people. I was just praying with a student whose father is on a ventilator at Kings County. Someone who I helped raise. Do you hear what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Her father used to come to my office and talk to me about the things he wanted for his daughter. That person is unconscious on a ventilator right now. You better get it right. Don't tell people things that you cannot speak about because they may die. That's how serious this is. And I'm hot about it because I'm just recovering and I'm seeing people that I love dead. If you come and say to me that this is about 5G, family, I'm gonna come to your house and cough on you. I'm joking a little bit now. Stop it.
So you saying that you don't think that 5G got anything to do with this?
Wait a minute, we're gonna cover each and every one of these.
All right.
If you are saying to me that this is man-made, stop it. Stop it. If this was engineered to kill people, it's the worst possible thing to be engineered to kill people. It's killing less than 5% of the people that contract it. People that contract it may be asymptomatic for 14 or more days. Imagine, Sonetta, if I wanted to kill people in the Harlem community, let's say from 110th Street to 155th Street, from river to river. Let's say I hate Black people who live in Harlem. I want to kill them. The last thing I would do is take half of them and strap a bomb to them and say, this bomb's going to kill lots of people. But guess what? The bomb might not explode for 4 to 14 days. And by the way, only 3% of the bombs will explode. If that was my plan, I would be the world's least effective terrorist. You have to understand that nature is a killer and that we are seeing something that developed and is killing people. And all of those of you who have spoken against vaccines, you know, Sonetta, that it took me a lot to say anything about people who are anti-vaccine. I have never been anti-vaccine. Now listen, I don't trust every white person that wants to stick something in my babies. That's not what I'm saying. But to be anti-all vaccines is to be someone who has not read science. By the way, to be anti-all vaccines is to be anti-African because Africans, damn it, developed vaccines. The first people to teach Americans to vaccinate were Africans in the United States. I showed you that in our last
Live. All right, let's go over there. We out.
So if you are entirely anti-vaccine, you are.
I didn't know if this was going live or not. So we out. So let's go to let's check out Polite. Peace. We'll do a an aftermath.